Today I'm going to be talking about the benefits of inclusive classrooms for students with ASD and for everybody else involved. The Centers for Disease and Control reports that 1 in 54 students have ASD. So no matter what your future profession is, whether it's business related or you're going to be a future educator or a nurse, there's a good chance that you will interact with a child or an adult that has ASD at some point in your lifetime. Since most of us in the class are future educators, this statistic, 1 in 54, makes a huge impact on us. So the chances that we teach a student who has autism in our career is very, very high. Teaching students with ASD can be really challenging, but it also has so many benefits too. Teachers and regular education students can learn tons of things from students with autism, and vice versa. So the implementation of inclusive classrooms has been a serious debate for quite some time. If you don't know what an inclusive classroom is, it's when students with disabilities, or for this presentation, students with autism, are included in the regular education classroom with students who are regular education students and regular education teacher. So those who are against inclusive classrooms want segregated classrooms. This means that students with disabilities are not in the regular education classroom. They are enclosed in their special education classroom. You may remember these from elementary and high school. You might be thinking to yourself, why would anybody want them out of the regular education classroom, not interacting with other kids? I agree, but I can think of two kinds of people that wouldn't want that. One being teachers who are just really unexperienced or maybe don't want the extra work, and the other being parents who are just kind of clueless of the situation and the benefits. So, teachers who don't have special training for special education students might not want the extra responsibility and challenge of having an inclusive classroom. They might get anxious about having to figure out different curriculum and how to run a classroom with special education and regular education students, because it is going to be hard. It's realistic. Parents of regular education students sometimes don't want to implement inclusive classrooms because they think special education students are going to distract their student from their academics. They also have said before that they think the special education student can be dangerous to their child, which is really rude to say. So obviously these people don't know a whole lot about the situation and children with disabilities. So in inclusive classrooms, there are benefits for everybody involved. For students with ASD, for the regular education students, and for the teachers. So first, I'm going to start by talking about the benefits for students with ASD. Students with ASD can learn so many things from their regular education peers. The one thing that really sticks out to me, as many of you probably know, students with ASD really struggle with social interaction. It's just not their strong suit. They prefer to be alone. They don't do well with communication. They don't react well to other people's opinions if they disagree. Things like that. So one thing that inclusive classrooms can do to help are the special education student can learn a lot from their regular education peers on how to react correctly or appropriately in social situations. And on top of that, autism spectrum disorder students struggle with making friends because they do prefer to be alone a lot of the time. So being in inclusive classrooms just really opens up the gate to having so many more friends and that opportunity for them, which is so important. Studies have also shown that students with ASD also score higher on achievement tests when they're in an inclusive classroom compared to those who are in a segregated classroom. So now for benefits for regular education students, there are also several. I think the best benefit is just that they are being completely exposed to people who are different than they are. And although they may have disorder, just teaches them that it's okay that people are different. You know, we can still be friends with people who are different than we are and have different thoughts and actions, and maybe they even look different. I think that's such a positive thing for kids nowadays. I feel like a lot of people bully and don't respect people who have disabilities because they weren't exposed to them early enough in their lifetime. They don't know how to react. They think that normal is one thing and people with disabilities is not it. So I think that inclusive classrooms would really benefit students that way, just showing them that it's okay that people are different and we still respect each other even when we're different from each other. And it can teach them just to be comfortable around people with disabilities, which is really important throughout a lifetime. And just to it shows them how to have a greater understanding of other people's needs. Just basically it teaches them really great life lessons, I think. So finally, teachers are also benefited through inclusive classrooms. There is more effort required, obviously, but there are still many benefits. It improves their teaching skills. They're learning from experience how to teach students who are special education and regular education all in one, which is pretty amazing. And they also get to see firsthand these wonderful friendships that are being formed between their students that are different. In the end, I feel like it really just comes down to the fact that we're all human beings, and students with ASD and other disabilities deserve to learn and have the same academic opportunities and experiences just as any other child does. So inclusive classrooms are one of the first steps for giving students with disabilities the experience that they deserve. Thanks.